survey. How many people, actually that'll be a shame question probably, who did the survey? It really helps if we have hundreds, and we're looking to partner. Let's hear it. I feel like that guy's employee capital. Hey, Marcus, give me this phone. Sorry. We're here. I'm in the middle of on stage right now. I gotta go. I'll call you in 2 minutes. 22.
Mark, put your shirt back on.
Anyways, we're going to do survey 17, and Fiona, we can include those questions. Fiona, we want also to know what you want us to ask, right? That helps us. It helps us inform what we're looking for. And then finally, I think that you can hit this. We would like to create our own funds, right? And take input from everybody, just as we're looking to do on the PC side, not just what we do with Ohio. We'll come back to all that. But what's your view?
I think green is the next emerging market, along with Ohio.
Ohio, nice. Actually, Ohio is.
Or the Midwest.
It is coming back. Let's get to the other roundtables. Jack, are you doing PC? When we hit climate tech, who wants to come up? Climate tech PC. Jane, let's do it. And then Jack, or whoever you nominated over there. Again, Jane is a family office, and also is investing her own funds and raising a fund for climate tech. And she took us to Berkeley this year, and it was a really great new tradition for 361. I think Berkeley wins over Stanford on climate tech, right?
Yes, a lot of things coming in Berkeley. Yeah, so our table, I think we carry on this two fun conversations. So we didn't exactly follow the agenda, but to summarize, the points people talk about, one is looking for technology solutions that can actually scale and get to a good unit economics, and do not fully rely on government public policy, so you can have a stable return. And we also talk about the solution needs to be global, even though it's a little bit sad. The U.S. China is getting a war. Well, China is actually doing a lot of cheap production for climate change. If it's combined, it would be great, but economic or geopolitics getting in the middle. So in a way, there are opportunities for U.S.-based companies here to be, to just be safer from export. But on the other side, maybe the Asia side, the China, the startups, technology will continue to fight the war. Even if there's a tariff getting here, the collaboration between the countries in climate change will still be going on. Am I missing some points? We talk about so many topics.
Well, one thing we want to do is do a climate. We want to do all kinds of deep dives, and that may be one of our next ones.
Okay.
When we how about philanthropy impact, which probably dovetails a little bit with climate tech. Tammy, where's Tammy?
I know, where's Tammy? Wow.
Tammy.
Okay. No, I'm going to invite somebody who hasn't tried Spot, just because I like to take, oh, there's Tammy. So, optimizing philanthropy with impact, we changed the title, or blended finance, and issues that came through was on our precious table. We have had people.
Fiona's got great things to say, people at the bar.
Actually, there's no one at the bar.
All right.
No, I did. I was just saying that in every one of our families, we have mental health issues, whether it's our family or that's touched us. And so our table went quite deep into the lives of people that have been here and have gone, and what their traits and what we can do to impact change. And also, we went a little Now, that is the crisis line for suicide, and only one person here knows about all that. So what have we done wrong? That's been around for years. So that's just an example of the pain that could be provoked with AI. So we talked about a couple other areas. Years ago, I co-invested in something which became the world's cheapest hearing aid, which wasn't a hearing aid. It was actually where we could listen to voice and understand that somebody may be in challenges pre-Parkinson's when they have maybe issues in dementia, but also in childhood, early brain development, all the way across. So how do we take that in the philanthropic work and move it to money? So Scott, who is here, he and Pierre were both pushing through not the cycle of how we finance the opportunity to make philanthropy into a business that actually saves lives and moves money to where it needs to go.
Woo, thank you. So with that, just tapping on the end of that, so it was optimizing philanthropy. So we looked at the need to optimize it in 3 ways. One, financially, so it can be sustainable, or so that there's models that work to keep funding it, right? So on the financial side. 2, impact-wise. So are you optimizing the actual impact? Are you just feeding crisis? Like if you're just helping people who've overdosed, but not actually lessening the amount of people becoming addicted, then we need to optimize that better, right? To start to solve the problems that we're saying we're solving, we're actually kind of being and supporting. And then also optimizing for a lot of philanthropy is started by people who lost someone. People who, whether it's drunk driving or a suicide loss or anything else, so that becomes their baby, that becomes their surrogate. And so we have these micro communities that are serving their community, which as we own business, Angel, VC, whatever, you want to fire up, right? You want to make sure that you're optimizing, not having back office and the ones that are less effective. But by acquiring, you would be then kind of killing that child all over again. So what do we do? So one of the things we talked about, and we were talking about some of what Marin's doing as well on SaaS platforms. So how do you in individual issue areas, if you can't acquire and round things up to a bigger solution, at least have platforms that help them to optimize among themselves in their issue area. And that was half of what we talked about.
Sorry, I just have to say, Nancy also brought in the spiritual side and all equally, not just spirit, but that of wholeness. So I leave you with the breath of wholeness, so you can continue to breathe.
Thank you.
And Big Mouth.
Thank you. It's interesting, when I grew up, I'm very spiritual, but I'm not with any one religion. And I've been in synagogues and all kinds, and I love community. That's why I gravitated. But in Raleigh, Durham, they have a faith-based day, and I have to say it's very similar because everyone sort of goes up and shares and has an ask. We all try to help each other. Try to do rather practical. So it's okay. It goes back to community. All right, let's, who else? We have public and private. You sort of did that, right? You covered DC. Oh, look, why don't you come up with Jack? As your co-pilots. Boy, he had a doozy of a trip, right? And he said he traveled separately. 2.
The travel tech didn't work. Let's talk about disruption.
Yeah.
Mark, how you doing, buddy? Still disrupting the travel.
Okay. There were 14 of your friends and neighbors who participated in the venture capital group. And we have 3 points to convey. First, it was a mind-expanding experience. Second, there was a range of different personalities, and some of the people were boisterous, and then some others weren't. Third,
Depender.
the third point is there were,
How many points do we have, Jack?
this is the third of three. I've already, do you want me to redo 1 and 2? The third point is, there were a number of interesting ideas and points of connection that emerged, and of course there wasn't time to follow all of those strings to some action steps. So, what did we do? Perhaps it's something that all of the tables would do. And that is 2 approaches. The older people at the table developed and passed around a piece of paper on which all 14 of us wrote our names and contact information. And then, as a backup to this, some of the younger people did the same thing electronically. So we have an on-paper and electronic basis for a WhatsApp group that we're initiating by 7 o'clock this evening.
It's done already.
Pardon me. Well, I said by 7.
That's all we need to know about WhatsApp group.
And therefore, we are going to follow up with some of these big ideas that are so big that we'll just save them for the next meeting, but they're worth following up on, and therefore, as I said to begin with, if I can go all the way back to point 1, it was a mind-expanding experience.
So can you introduce Gary?
Now, this doesn't count against my time, right?
Right.
One of the interesting opportunities that has surfaced within the 361 universe is a possible investment by a number of us in 361 in a company called Copilot, about which Terry Jones spoke at some length earlier today. And the leader of Copilot, about whom Terry spoke, is right here. Gary is the lead co-pilot, lives in Nashville, has created this company, put to work $4 million to create a software that has some novel application and is likely to grow rapidly. So people close to it think. And he just spent 2 days attempting to get here.
Yeah.
So for any of us who are
have a few minutes.
Any of us who are a little tired or want to start drinking heavily, just feel some sympathy and a little bit of empathy for the guy that took 2 days to get here, whose only purpose is to try to raise money for this fine company that you created. And you can also tell people that you've created 4 companies prior to this, and therefore you've been there and done that. And on the basis of what's been articulated, you now get the mic.
Thank you so much, Jack. Pleasure to meet everybody. So I started my journey in Nashville at 7 a.m. and now I'm here. So one of the things I'd like to talk to you about is disruptive technology.
Yesterday, technically.
Yeah, literally. But I wanted to be here because I'm excited to meet with you, to talk with you. I'm excited to hopefully partner with 361 and the other investors. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm an investor as well. I built a number of high-growth technology startup companies. And so I built 2 in healthcare, I built 1 in communications, I built 1 in fintech. And then 5 years ago, I really started focusing on what's next. And for me, I incubated a number of different ideas, kind of threw them up on a whiteboard. And the big one that always kind of kept my attention was travel. And what's interesting is if anybody kind of is paying attention to what's happening in the industry, it's essentially a reset, right? So all of the airlines, all of the hotel companies, all of the rental car companies, they're trying to re-platform, they're trying to do better integrations, they're trying to get closer to customers, they're trying to build loyalty, rewards programs. All of that comes down to infrastructure. So as an investor, we went out, we put $4 million into developing this technology. It's patent pending. I put my own money in as well. And at this point, we went out and got Terry Jones, which I think if you get Terry Jones, it's pretty exciting, right? So he is literally the grandfather of the industry. And he both founded Travelocity and then was the founding chairman at Kayak. So the kind of running joke we always have with Terry is, okay, what's next? And he tried this in the 2000s with a company called prohibited. They went out and raised a bunch of money from IBM. If anybody's familiar with Watson at the time, that was kind of all the rage. Now we're more interested in kind of large language learning models. We're interested in different types of technologies, but that kind of whole world is resurging. So what we're focused on doing is building the infrastructure to support that. We work with some of the largest travel companies in the world. So as an example, who here knows what Amadeus is? Does that ring any bells? Amadeus, they're one of our core partners. We actually graduated from their Startup Acceleration Program. Very, very few startups get invited to even go through that program. We came out with full enterprise certification. So I've been coding since I was 12 years old. I love building technology companies. I'm passionate about building what I'm working on. I believe that I love this something.
Pause on that. We were with a guy who owned Vegas.com. We were talking about your tech stack. He's created AI that creates coding that's like seconds versus weeks. Is that fair?
Yeah, so traditionally when you build these, you literally sit down and for 6, 8, 10, 12 months, you just code. And it's typically a whole team of people. What we've actually been doing is building systems that actually write the code for you. But more importantly than that, they're learning systems, and they allow you to better maximize your time, your output, your velocity, etc. So now you take that same team of senior software engineers, and you give them Jarvis to work alongside of them, and they become much more productive. They're able to do much more amazing things. And so that's really an exciting part of it. Is a lot of companies say they're kind of AI, right? We were AI before AI was cool. Now AI is really cool, and so we're integrating all of that technology along with everything else we're doing. So our whole goal here is to power travel companies around the world. Whether that's flights, hotels, cars, trains. What we just saw, we know the industry needs to innovate. We know the industry needs to be able to grow. It's originally developed in the 1960s, 1970s. It was created on pinboards.
I know that people aren't one step at the bar, or they're already at the bar. I think basically what you're doing is you're filling the gaps to help all these 20, 30,000 agencies sort of compete in their area with bookings.com.
Right.
Speedy, because you're the white label bookings.com. Plus, natural language search.
That's huge, yeah.
Just making it simple. Just, I want to be here at this, all the things you want, and it spits it out for you on behalf of your clients. What's the other thing you do? Oh, and you could acquire these companies for like 3 times net income.
Yes, that's interesting too. We have a roll-up strategy that we're working on.
Which is like a double-prong approach. So this is a really, for us, the potential scalability of all, I guess, relationship chains we have here. So, we spent about a month with you, now we're done a deep dive. I'm excited about them. I do earn a fee if we all invest, so it is what it is. But what's your final thought before we close this conference?
Yeah, I would say the final thought is travel is here to stay and is only growing. It's an exciting time. And I think Terry Jones is a trailblazer. I think he sees things way before anybody else does. So, internally we have this conversation around, he's getting up in age, and he says, I need one more big hit. One more to put on the board and say, hey, I did it again. And hopefully,
it's called the redemption investment.
Hopefully,
because Watson didn't work out, but this AI is the time has come. So hang out with Gary,
please.
Warren with you, whatever welcome to the family. Great to see you. Glad you can make it.
Thank you very much, everyone.
And just so everybody knows, the next big things on our calendar. So obviously we're in a little bit of things before London, but London's our next big one. Then New York on the 10th. We'll be playing pickleball in Central Park on the 9th. We should play pickleball in London somehow. We'll figure that out. Lots of things in between. We might be in Germany ahead of London. Back to London with Cambridge. We did Oxford last year. Right, Depender? How was Oxford?
I've been to Oxford many times, but not with you.
That's right, you threatened to go. You didn't go. Well, we had a really good group. I think Bill Decker was there. But I've never been to Cambridge. But this is Armin Sarkisian. Who's Armenian in the group? Someone Armenian? Depends. You brought somebody who's Armenian. Elizabeth. Anyhow, the ex-president of Armenia, Armin Sarkisian, is hosting us for the summit too, based on health needs, flagship event. Definitely pickleball in Naples again. And this time, we're really excited to partner with Roberta Coloresi. There you are. Because it's a really interesting time for Rio. You know that Saudis want to double their population? So there's a lot of ramifications of that. You have to attract non-Saudis to come and stay. They want talent. They're throwing a lot of money at that. What we want to do also, there's so many families, somebody was saying, why would the U.S. families not think outside the, because we're not optimized. We're not optimized on philanthropy, we're not optimized on investing. What we want to do, you think they're optimized? No, but they have a ton of money. But no one talks to them, they're only selling to them. So we're just trying to go and have a different kind of conversation about purposeful development of your family offices in their country. And so try to add value in that dialogue. So it's going to go 4 or 5, and then 6, 8 is going to be in Abu Dhabi, Dubai. And then one of our family offices loves the movie Dune. I don't know if you like Dune 1, Dune 2. We love this movie. It's taking us to the desert, setting up a whole cinema experience in the middle of the desert to watch Dune 1, Dune 2. And you can't really go to, it's like going, I went to Munich to the Hyatt and then back to Moscow. I didn't go to Munich. You really can't go to these places and not really experience, you know, like Lawrence and Arabia experience, but it gives some experience. So we're excited. It's not pickleball, but it's the desert equivalent. So that's it. But if you ever want to talk about any other things, if you can help me put these on, we'll do it. That's the way we roll. So if you want to, Todd Ruber couldn't be here, but we'll host us in Baltimore, several law firms, and then Philly I love. I call it the Amtrak tour. We'll start with Zoom deep dives, but we want to actually get to Latin and then get to Africa. I have to go to a Michigan football game anyway, so I may go hold an event there. So these are the themes that are of interest to people, so just let us know if you want to be involved or you have another idea. And with that, I will drop them off. Thank you.
Come join our 361 firm community of investors and thought leaders. We have a lot of events created by the community as we collaborate on investments and philanthropic interests. Join us.